After photographing hundreds of famous people, how much do you actually know about any of them? The answer is you know more than most people, but much less than you think. A few weeks ago, we made a film about photographing Bill Wyman. Afterwards, I received an email from Rob. Rob thought I was being a bit sanctimonious. His point was simple. Why was I talking about the personal lives and history and behavior of the people I got to photograph? Why not just stick to photography? It's a fair question. After all, I'm not a journalist. I'm kind of a journalist, but I'm not a journalist, a biographer or a historian. I'm a photographer. But the question did get me thinking. I woke up and suddenly thought, yeah, I'm going to address this on the channel. Because what exactly is a photographer's lane? Over the last 40 years, I've photographed, as I said, hundreds of people. Right across the cultural spectrum. Actors, politicians, musicians, footballers, business leaders, even criminals. I've spent my life walking into worlds that don't belong to me and then leaving a few hours later. It's something I just do. You don't question it. The strange thing about photography is that you often feel as though you've got to know somebody you've observed. You've looked at them closely. I mean, that's how you get good portraits, good pictures. As Chauncey Gardiner said in Being There, played brilliantly by Peter Sellers, I like to watch.
I like to watch.
You also notice, you pick up on how they interact with other people. But have you really got to know them? Or have you simply had a glimpse? This week, I saw the BBC Panorama programme about David Sullivan. The documentary included horrendous allegations of sexual abuse, stretching back many years. Watching it, I was suddenly in the mid-90s, travelling out to Thaden Boys in Essex to photograph Sullivan at his extremely nouveau riche mansion. He was a porn guy. He also published the Sport newspaper group. And at the time, he was one of Britain's most famous businessmen. And I spent an afternoon in his world. I photographed him. If you look at the pictures, you can see his tense little fists. He's stiff and awkward. There wasn't much conversation. Then I left. And then years later, I photographed Karen Brady, who became one of his closest business associates. She's been on The Apprentice. She was tough, like granite. She did want to look good and cooperated in order to look her best in the pictures, but she found it hard to relax. I even had a quick shoot with Jacqueline Gold, daughter of David Gold, Sullivan's long-term business partner. She died in 2023. My memory of that was that although she was worth $500 million, her house was sort of quite modest. She seemed shy, a bit vulnerable. I liked her. 3 people connected to the same world. 3 people I spent time with. 3 people I photographed. And yet, what did I actually know? Very little, if I'm honest. That's one of the odd things about being a portrait photographer. I think you develop what I would call a shallow insight into a vast range of worlds. You're invited in briefly, and as I said, you observe and then you're gone. Sometimes, years later, information emerges that completely changes the way these worlds appear. And that's when the question becomes interesting. Should photographers simply stay silent? Should we only talk about shutter speeds, lenses, and lighting? Or is it part of who we are, part of our job, to try and make sense of the people we encounter? That's certainly, for me, what life's about. I don't claim to know the answers. What I will observe is that photography has never felt like a purely technical exercise to me. The photographers I admire most are people that read, that travel, that argue, that are difficult, interested in the world, pay attention. Photography is not separate from life. It's the way I engage with life. The danger comes when we mistake proximity for understanding. I guess just because you've photographed somebody doesn't mean you know them, but equally, the experience of photographing somebody is not meaningless. If you're perceptive, you do notice things, contradictions, mannerisms, atmospheres. As I said before, the way people treat those around them, the way a room changes when they enter it. These observations may not amount to truth, but they're definitely part of the story. And I guess that's kind of where I've ended up. I'm not an insider. I don't know what really happened in these people's lives, but I'm happy to acknowledge that photography has given me a front row seat to thousands of fascinating human encounters. And sometimes those human exchanges, those coming together, raise questions that go far beyond photography. Should I stay in my lane? Who knows? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.